Bună dimineața, doamnelor și domnilor. Bine ați venit la Ministrul Afacerilor Externe.
Good morning, ladies
presă
and
comune
gentlemen.
ale ministrului Afacerilor Externe Bogdan Aurescu și ale ministrul Afacerilor Externe al Statului Israel, Yair Lapid. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the joint press statement of the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Romania, Bogdan Aurescu, and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Israel, Yair Lapid. Minister Aurescu, you have the floor. Domnule ministru.
Bună ziua.
Good morning. Thank you for your presence here. I am very happy to have the opportunity to welcome today in Bucharest His Excellency Minister of Foreign Affairs and the next Prime Minister of Israel, starting with August, Mr. Yair Lapid. Dear Yair, welcome to Bucharest. The substantial discussion we had today reflect the excellent level of our bilateral relations that have a strategic nature, as also as the common interest of Romania and Israel to develop and deepen the political, diplomatic and sectorial dialogue. This follows the very good contacts we had recently, the most recent being on the 3rd of March, when we had a telephonic conversation in the context of the dramatic events in Ukraine. And this visit and our discussions focused on the effects of the illegal aggression of the Russian Federation against Ukraine. We've talked about the joint efforts to support the evacuation of the people that flee from war, including citizens of the State of Israel. Through the border crossings of Romania and Ukraine and the Republic of Moldova, we had more 430,000 of Ukrainian citizens, to which we may add a great number of citizens of other countries that have been evacuated, and this number is increasing. I reassured my counterpart of the Romania's commitment to support fully the evacuation of Israeli or Jewish people in Ukraine. Until now, more than 3,000 Israeli citizens have been supported by Romania to come to Romania and then be evacuated with more than 12 flights towards Israel, including around 100 orphans that were brought from Ukraine. These efforts were possible due to the joint efforts that are due to an exemplary cooperation between our authorities, including the consular department of our ministry and the Israeli embassy in Bucharest. With the minister, we decided to continue our effort to grant humanitarian support and, to the extent it is possible, a safer and more optimistic horizon to all refugees, including the most vulnerable categories. I've informed the Minister about the recent operationalization of the regional hub that we organized in Suceava in order to collect and transfer the international aid for Ukraine. And we invited the State of Israel to join our efforts in this context and to support this hub. The serious multidimensional crisis generated by the illegal military aggression of Russia against Ukraine is not just a matter of our region or of Europe, but it also has global security implications. This is why we decided to keep a close contact and to act under the framework offered by the various international organizations to support democratic values and international law. At bilateral level, we talked about the next joint government meeting, the third one this year. We've talked about aspects of common interest for the common government meeting because we want to amplify our sectorial cooperation in several domains that are very important. We also agreed that in the preparation of this meeting to have another meeting of the Joint Working Committee on Economic Matters. We talk about economy. In 2021, the total of trade reached $885 million, which is with more than $200 million compared to 2020 and 2019. So we have to continue our efforts in this sense. There is a high potential in various fields, and I'm talking about agriculture, water management, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity. I've discussed this with the minister, increasing resilience, research, innovation, technological transfer, because it is very relevant for the two states to strengthen their prosperity and capacity to face also hybrid challenges. I reiterated the firm commitment of Romania in combating anti-Semitism and xenophobia. Romania trying more and more to promote also at regional level the model that we created in Romania. I also was happy that Silviu Wexler, the president of the Federation of the Israeli community in Romania, has participated to this meeting. Romania has adopted a strategy for fighting anti-Semitism, to fight xenophobia. We also acted to adopt last year in October a strategy in this field. As for the relevant matters when it comes to Middle East, we briefly discussed about the peace process. In this context, I want to reiterate Romania's position for a sustainable solution based on the two states, Israel and Palestine, that can coexist in peace and security as being the only viable option that can answer the aspiration of both parties. Romania is a promoter of the international law and international order, and I reconfirm the availability of Romania to support any action that envisage these matters when it comes to the Middle East peace process. Minister, please allow me to thank you also for the support of Israel during the pandemic of COVID-19, which reflected once again the solidity of the relations between our countries. All the close cooperation in the field of health is very important for Romania, but also for Israel, given the opportunities offered by the experience exchanges between the two countries. I will stop here. Thank you once again for your visit today to Bucharest, for the visit that you will continue, including in Siret Customs, and you have the
I've just concluded a working meeting with Minister Aurescu, and we are now on our way to meet Prime Minister Ciucă for an additional conversation on the situation in Europe and the question of handling refugees. After the meeting, I'll depart for a tour of one of the Jewish Agency's refugee centers here in Bucharest. From there, I will head to the Siret border crossing, where foreign ministry personnel have been stationed helping refugees escape since almost the first day of fighting. The Romanian government has been working closely with us and was extremely helpful in saving many lives. Jewish children from an orphanage in Odessa, children with cancer who have been sent to Israel for treatment, and thousands of refugees that have escaped through the Siret crossing. Their lives have been saved by the cooperation between us, Minister. I thank you, my friend, and I thank the government of Romania for your cooperation and goodwill. It's additional proof of the firm, years-long friendship between our countries, in both peacetime and wartime. Like Romania, Israel condemns the Russian invasion of Ukraine. It's without justification, and we call on Russia to stop its firing and attacks and to resolve this conflict around the negotiating table. Israel will do all it can to help reach a peaceful solution. We are working in complete coordination with our ally, the United States, and with our European partners in order to try and end the violent tragedy as quickly as possible. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the press statements. Doamnelor și domnilor, declarațiile de presă s-au încheiat. Mulțumim.
Thank you. Thank you once again. You know, Bill Clinton taught me different. The one with the hand.